Good morning this morning. How are you doing this morning? As I was perusing the news, I find this article here. Minnesota Republicans prepare to take control of Minnesota State House as Democrats threaten to walk out. Clearly that got my attention. And as you start reading, you find out that they are threatening to walk out due to the lack of a power sharing agreement. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe. We're going to get into this. So in the state of Minnesota, the state house right now has a one-seat difference due to a elected representative who a judge ruled did not reside in the district he ran in 40A in Roseville. That representative has announced to the governor that he is not going to seek an appeal in that case, and that he will accept the results. So there is a runoff election due in January 28th, I believe is the date. So in between the time of that election and now, the Republicans were going to have a one-seat majority. The House stands at 67-66 because the chamber is no longer tied. Well, the Democrats and the Republicans had agreed to a power-sharing agreement when it was 67-67. But now with a one-seat majority, the Republicans are saying that they're going to take control of the committees and things like that for the next 2 weeks. And the Democrats are saying they're just not going to show up. There's not even going to be a quorum, so nothing can take place. My point is, do you think these people would hesitate for 1 second if they had a one-seat majority to just tell the Republicans to sit down, shut up, and take it? You know they would. You know they would. They did it last year in the state Senate. This is the legislature that passed every single radical left agenda item. The governor, the people in the legislature, including a mentally ill House representative, put on the floor. This included tax hikes and the degradation of parental rights in the child gender affirming bill that essentially allows a minor to seek state representation to have gender affirming care. Or as the late great Rush Limbaugh called it, a chop a dick off of me or a sew a dick onto me. And it's just ridiculous that the people in this state continually deal with this crap. This leads to a bigger issue. The Republicans in Minnesota are going to be able to be nothing more than a roadblock. Because it's very tough to counter the large counties in the Twin Cities with hundreds of thousands of people on the government dole. This is going to be another video for another time, talking about the most prophetic political statement of my lifetime. Comes from one of my least favorite political people of my lifetime, in Mitt Romney. That he said 47% of people received some form of government aid. He said this in 2012. It's only gotten worse. So you have metropolitan counties with hundreds of thousands of people on the government dole who will not vote against their next meal. They won't. Are you going to vote to starve yourself? If you're a lazy, no good son of a bitch on the government dole, are you going to vote so you have to go and get your fat ass up off that couch and go get your ass a job? No, you're not. I'm going to bring up 3 maps. This now encompasses almost a decade. This is the result of the state of Minnesota in the 2016 election. You can clearly see where the lines are drawn. Okay? This is Minnesota in the 2020 election. Obviously, Mankato, Moorhead, and Rochester went for Biden. They went from Trump to Biden. And in 2024, Mankato went back for Trump, but Moorhead and Rochester stayed for Biden. What we have here, and I'm going to do all three of these again: 16, 20, 24. I'm going to do that one more time. And besides the blue counties, I want you to pay attention to the red counties and how they just get deeper red. 16, 20, 24. What I'm saying is that there is clearly two distinct places. St. Paul does not represent us out here in western Minnesota. I do not live in the Twin Cities. I don't live under the control of the Met Council. I am far outside the Twin Cities. Thank God. I am actually in the reddest county in Minnesota. By statistical analysis, the percentage of voters. This is the reddest county in Minnesota. I have been an advocate now, and still am, and it is growing, for East Dakota. I believe that a division of borders is necessary. St. Paul does not represent the people of western and northern Minnesota. Clearly, people of Fargo-Moorhead area feel that they're better represented by St. Paul, and they'll make a fine addition into East Dakota. I am advocating for the dissolution of the state of Minnesota, and I'm advocating for the redrawing of borders and the creation of East Dakota out of the western portion of the state of Minnesota. The eastern part, with all the counties, all the Twin Cities counties up north, the eastern corridor down 35, can all stay. Minnesota, don't care. Don't care. East Dakota. This used to be part of the Dakota Territory anyway. We would be better able to represent ourselves. And I think this is something that needs to be considered nationwide. We have large metropolitan blue cities that are literally guiding entire states of people whose values are so diametrically opposed and different from those people who are ruling them that it's literally untenable. Untenable. You cannot have consistently one large group of people be stepped on, told their ists, phobes, that their very existence, their very skin color, their very way of life is bad, and that they need to awaken to something else. I don't think so. I don't think so. And this has been an ongoing issue for me that I've been pushing personally. I don't expect a lot of people to be advocating for the same things I am. But damn it, our voices need to be heard. And when you have something like this, where these people would take these 2 weeks and jam every single thing they could down our throat like they did last session. They would. They wouldn't hesitate one moment. And they tell you to just bend over and take it. and walls would be right there with them, being the driver as you're bent over. No. A power sharing agreement, if it's tied, is absolutely justified. But for 2 weeks, it's not. If they can use parliamentary procedures to prevent anything from happening, you know they'll do it. You know they'll do it. The Democrats will do that kind of thing. With the Republicans, God, no. They're gutless. They're gutless cowards. They would never do anything like that. They would just bend over and take it. No. No. This is a perfect example of why the voices of those in the legislature in the state of Minnesota, of the people who don't represent the big cities, Hennepin County, Ramsey County, Dakota County, Washington County, the big Twin Cities counties, or St. Louis County, one of the most corrupt counties in the United States, by the way. The same county that found all the votes for Al Franken he needed in the back of a trunk. Look it up. Fact. So he could defeat Norm Coleman. So yeah. Minnesota, as far as I'm concerned, your time is up. Your time is up. Keep the sports teams. I'll still root for them. Doesn't matter to me. It's just laundry. But when it comes down to the important part, where my voice being heard, and the people that represent me having the same balls as the people that oppose me, Minnesota's pretty well finished. It's time on a national level and on a local level that we start looking towards ourselves. We look more local. And perhaps the only thing that's going to save this union, the Union of the United States, is a redivision of its internal borders. Perhaps the only thing that can save it. There's times that I believe that. It's great that we've got Trump elected and we've got ourselves a small majority. But locally and internally, there's a lot of issues. We are ruled by a lot of people who do not share our values. And perhaps the redivision of state borders peacefully in order to save the union is the answer. I've come to that conclusion here in Minnesota. But that's going to be it for this one. I do appreciate you swinging in and listening to me. I'll catch you next time.